Hello, all people, all black communities, and everyone else that's in this generation that we're finna grow up in 2025. For all others that graduate high school, we're gonna review today on my first blog of my conversation about the whole YN situation and the whole young man situation. So, in these days, that right now, for me being a YN as they prefer for all of us, most of them they see us nothing but violence, and then we show that type of issue for most of us. Being raised in that serious life of violence, encouragement, of pride to do these things that commit murder. For me, I was raised into a situation where I had to learn from my actions and do not commit these certain things. By my own dad, thanks to him, he taught me things that I had to learn from to become a understanding, mature young man instead of becoming a YN. Even though at the end of the day, this generation, at the end, I am a YN because I am being in this generation. So this is mine, but sometimes I just see that it's not being my generation because how different I am compared to these other folks that are YNs. So now as we are in this sort of days right now of all these murder attempts and these very messed up things that's going on in this world, all I can say is that I just hope that not all times that people gotta be so up and down. All it had to be on their own prideful state of having to be so tough. They had to act tough. That's why in this generation, like the real problem for us YNs, why we commit murder and had the urge to do these things is because the disrespect from a whole nother perspective. And then with that sort of disrespect, we can't do anything but to try to gain that respect from that because our own prideful state that we just can't let stuff go. And that being said, that some people it's hard to let things go unless you understand you was raised to the point of understanding sometimes you just gotta let some stuff go and sometimes you just gotta maybe have to take some responsibility from that perspective to prove others wrong. But it doesn't involve having to commit murder, had to do all these things, had to sell drugs every day, had to be this type of guy where you being raised up in this be tough toward situation and want to be a gangster every time. That don't have to be the answer. Sometimes you're just best to walk away on things. It's just for the better for your own life estate to try to be dragged to hell for just because people just disrespect you and drive you into this madness of revenge for whatever they done into your life and whatever they try to test you on. Some people gonna be in this world have to be throwing hate on you. But it doesn't mean not every time you have to crash out on things. You have to have self-control because that's just how it's gonna be out here in the real world. For me, being a young man, having to be out here, it's gonna be a tough ride. Because at the end of the day, what my generation is doing is putting us all down from violence and just discouragement that's showing that Gen Z can't get things done without having to be no crash out or have to be so up and down to talk back and not listen. For just me being a mature young man, in my title, it's just really, it's going to be a little ride because I have to be the one to prove people that not all YNs, what they see is we call ourselves YNs, are violent. We're not listening. We're not very understanding. We always ready to crash out. We always some type of guys that have to be so tough and up and down to show gang that we are this type of man. But sometimes I had some of us people that were raised and mature, we have to prove that not all that's true. And now for this day, I can't really know for say right now, but it's for the best so that we preach the positivity and not the negativity. Because when we preach someone's negativity and encourage that stuff and put that as an image, like the whole rap career and the whole allegation and everything else, we just be drawing to it like that's just how life gotta be. Like we gotta be so up and down in our own prideful state to be up and ready for anything, just to commit things, just to show some sort of respect and get some sort of image out of it to make people like us for them type of things. Which is not true because you got two paths. You got two paths to make. That one path is that you lose your morals and you lose your principles. When losing that type of thing is you want to be that type of guy. And that being that guy, it's going to lead you nothing to trouble. because you don't care whatever happens. If you just don't care, your choice. But if you do them things, it will lead you to nothing but hell, or who knows, you get in prison for a long time. And then we'll say about that one, when going to prison, in this generation, everyone is turning very into their life of that, the homosexual. That situation in the prison thing is no joke. It's not been reading on, and I've been listening. People, man, us young men, we gotta be careful for what choice we make. If we end up in prison, things are gonna be happening to us for the worst that we will regret. We'll lose our manhood, cause there's a lot of grown men in them prisons that been through stuff that we did. They may regret some things, and some they just don't care. But if they ever see us YNs in this generation, they will take us as this housewife thing. And now, as I'm saying, it's like, why are we still doing these things if we know what's going on? Because I see my generation is that we know some stuff. We got brains. We're smart. But we use it for dumb reasons and use it for our ignorance. And that problem is our ignorance, that we can't control our attitude. And we have to get some sort of high support, knowing that you can do that. You can control yourself. If you just keep disproving that stuff, how is it going to be changed? With that sort of attitude being used and always ready to, always to trigger in just 2 seconds like a time bomb, all it's going to do is just get for worse in your life. It's going to lower your chance of getting successful. And now it's going to make it look bad on your image. If you really just start looking at it, how people going to think of you and how people see you as. Because everything comes with a reputation and looks and a very huge image when people look at you. Whatever energy you're bringing to these people, whatever image you're showing to each person, from jobs to jobs, from business to business, from companies, then just being alone, just going outside, just walking in these certain places around the world. You got to show some sort of good image that not all time that just being a young man, plus for me being a black individual that was raised to the point that understand you got to listen, you have to have some responsibility. You can't just be so up and down, ready for anger. You have to control yourself. Can't just be Mr. Crash Out every time just because what a person say to you. It doesn't matter. But don't let that try to prove that that is true. Because some people will say things that will trigger you. But that's a test. You have to have self-control. Don't let that temper you. You got to handle. You have to sometimes walk away. Because all they going to lead to in this generation is YNs, we're going to be instantly, we're just going to be killing each other. Every time. I be hearing stories of just every time young man around my age, from me being 18, just finally passing high school, I just be hearing stories of people just getting killed over some dumb reasons. And them dumb reasons just don't add up, but it just came from just being so prideful and just ready for anything because of that little anger that you can't control. So for me to say now is that we got to learn, we have to understand and learn from our mistakes. We got to grow up. We have to control ourselves. That's the main problem. It's our pride. Our pride will lead us to the strain of having to be so up and down, want to be that type of guy for what other people encourage. Like the whole black community itself, is good, but some bad, mostly bad, because this is what's going on. This is what's being encouraged. The rap, everything from music, for what people say in the music, that's what's going on. Nothing but violence, murder, drugs, including sex, every time. Like you gotta be Mr. Down guy to just have to prove that, I'm in that life, because that's what's being encouraged the most. Knowing that you don't have to always be that type of person. There's another path that's better, that'll help you live longer instead of just trying to live shorter. I'm going to just say out there for all us young men, all us YNs, like, y'all, we don't have to constantly be Mr. that type of guy. We have other choices. Even those that they go through a tough life and been raised into that stuff. They're just born into that type of life. You have a choice where you maybe can change for the better. You might be one of the people that actually might get yourself together, and you don't have to be so fall into that same path that's going to lead nothing to a cycle where people just constantly getting killed at their young age. They're not making it to they get to like their adult form. Even at their adult form, you got to be really understood. Like, look at what's really going on. It's like a cycle, a repeat cycle of just YNs getting killed every time, just because it's just a disrespect and want to be that type of guy. It's just what this going on. And then there's gonna be more as I continue on review more of my videos upcoming, just to see what's really going on right now. But there's a lot of stuff I can say and a lot of stories I gotta tell. For right now, I just hope everyone who's watching this, I hope you reach out, know things and look what's really happening. For including those that are black individuals, like, this is important to you because this is what's going on. It's our pride, it's our anger, it's our unself control. That stuff lead us to death, and it's just all gonna do a repeat. Family's gonna be sad. Family's gonna be down in their own tears, now realizing a young man, a young boy, just died out at such a young age. Then some probably don't care. Some friends that was with the person are gonna backstab them, because all they seen them all along was whatever they had with them was money, literally money, drugs, all that. They're going to take it from them behind their backs when it's in their last days, where they end up leaving this world for some dumb reasons and from some crazy reasons that is just tragic to just end out like that. And I'm not putting no one down or anything. Like, stuff just happened, but it happens for a reason, and it has happened for a cause, and would have been encouraged to lead to that point. Like, really, rap, like, even cool in hip hop, like, it's a lot of things. Even in spiritual, like, people gotta start really going to church more, because this stuff, you can lose your principles and your morals to the point that you just care less what goes on in this world, and you just become that guy. Being that type of person in this world become a menace. You'll become a menace to this world, like the rest of them. You just don't care whatever happens to you. You're just like basing your form of survival of the fittest. Like, whoever gets the more respect, whoever gains the more power, got the money, got all the girls, are that guy. Like, this is what, hey, I'm living a life, but it comes with a price. It will come back and bite you. It will haunt you. With even committing murder, your stuff gonna face consequence, and it's gonna come back and hunt you. Like, every last person that out here drill rapping, killing a lot of people, like, it's gonna come back and hunt you. Just hope, understand, man, everything has a cause. Everything gonna come back and hunt you for every choice you make. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and see what you're doing in your life. Is you're doing what is cool, or what you're doing is actually wrong? And it's just basically, right, literally, you're doing something that what people think is cool, but it actually leads to death and murder and just worse. Go to prison, never to be seen again. Or who knows? And for right now, I think I have said everything I have right now for today, for my first ever video. If there's something wrong, like a little my vocabulary, but as far as that, everything else fine. But just my last words for this video is, the people, whoever watching, is, I say again, I just hope y'all have a great day. I put no threats or harm on anyone. I meant the best, because this video is going to be all about positivity and nothing but negativity. And for me, as a young man, age 18, I would make sure that people will hear these words, that not every time you have to be that guy. You have to be Mr. Prideful guy. You have to be Mr. Gangster guy. All these other rap, just encouraging, like, you have to vape, you have to smoke just to get some sort of connection. Like, you don't have to. There's another path, and that path I'm going to show you, and it's going to bring some great. It's going to make you realize you don't have to follow that path. All right, guys, that's all I can say for today. I hope y'all have it great.